So the embarrassment for Welsh rugby continues as we go down to Japan 24-19 in a game that, let's be honest, we were completely in control of for about 60 minutes. The irony of it was supposed to be at the 60 minutes is when our bench came on and took over and won the game with the arm wrestle in the last 20 minutes and quarter of the game. Just absolutely gutted, to be honest. At about half time, I actually said to my wife, Wales might win a game, and the last time we won a game was before you were even pregnant, and we've had the child for 4 months nearly now, so shows how long that's been embarrassing. And then just as the second half crept in, you felt the momentum change. Japan showed a lot more heart, and they were clearly a team who were just, okay, there's the elements will come into it. It was absolutely boiling hot. It's hard for us to appreciate watching at home what it's like to play in those conditions. I understand that. But the lack of quality from both sides, to be fair, but the lack of quality from Wales was embarrassing. And the set piece, which is we would have expected us to maybe have an edge. There was times where in the start where we were on top of them at the scrum, and then it started falling apart. Kieran Azarati was an issue for the scrum in the first half, and then when the bench came on, they didn't improve it. They made it worse, if anything, when Nicky Smith went off. And the line out was the source of all of our woes, to be honest. Every launch play was knocked off, especially in that second half. To say it was a lottery would be generous. The odds are probably better on winning the lottery of us winning a line out in that second half. Every single line out that I can think of in that second half went to Japan. And they clearly worked the line out. It was not, there was some overthrows or underthrows, I guess you could say, but it was mainly just getting stole, just getting up at the point of the lifter and beating the jumper at the point of contact in the air. And there was just no answer to it. They literally had the line out down, absolutely bullied at the line out. It was quite embarrassing considering you think these guys have been together 3 weeks and they just haven't managed to work that part of the game out at all. And how long has Wales' line out been an issue? I mean, pretty much as long as I can remember watching rugby. It's been a point where it's been shaky at best. Why is that never changed? Is something fundamentally wrong there? The kicking was shocking from both outside half and mainly 9. I think that was the worst game I've seen Kieran Hardy have in his entire career. For some reason, he was very reluctant to get the ball out of the base. He was trying to slow everything down way too much, and the Japanese players, Michael Leach in particular, was hounding him the whole way through. Whether he wasn't getting protection from his pillars and from the caterpillar, that's probably part of it, but it's surely his responsibility to organise that, and he didn't do it. I think he could have had the shepherd's crook around the 50-minute mark, but ended up playing the 80 minutes. Costello was okay in the first half. I've defended him quite a lot on this channel and said he needs a lot more time, and I actually said I think he's going to have a really good game in this one, going into it with confidence. Everything around him was looking a lot better than it has in his other appearances, and the same kind of issues showed up. A little bit of indecision, kicks a little bit not far enough, and just not really good enough. Didn't control the game, and I wanted him in this team because I thought he was the more senior of the two outside halves and would have a better grasp on maintaining control of the game when we needed it at the latter stages. The interesting one was I talked about in my previous video, the amount of captains that were in that team and the amount of sort of maybe not necessarily seasoned internationals, but senior players in regional rugby, etc. And that last 30 minutes, there was no one leading that team. No one took responsibility. Not one player said, "Give me the ball, I'm going to do something." And we didn't give opportunities to anyone like who can cause danger, like Blair Murray. Johnny Williams was anonymous throughout. Tom Rogers was okay, took his try well, but not really impressed with his performance. I thought Josh Adams was the only player in our back line that showed that he's international quality still. And probably only managed to get his hands on the ball 2 or 3 times and made something good of it, because we just didn't get the ball out. We didn't get the ball out, didn't have possession, didn't have territory. We didn't have anything. It was 2 poor teams, let's be honest, low on confidence and low on absolute quality. Credit to Japan. They really showed a lot of heart, and you saw that whenever they actually started going through phases, they caused us issues. Their biggest problem is the inaccuracy of their handling and decision making at times. But once they sorted that out in the second half, how easily they were able to get on top of us. I mean, think of those 3 quick tries, one that was luckily disallowed due to a forward pass, and Wales had no answer. And again, the conditions should be taken into account for that. But they have been training out there in the conditions, and they're professional rugby players and professional athletes. There should be a certain level of standards, I think. I'm feeling really just deflated. It's hard for me to think that I'm even want to watch the next game now, because what are we expecting out of that? This was the one game that a lot of people, myself included, thought that we could win, and this could potentially be the beginning of a rebuild. And now you think there's nowhere else to go now. This is why it's such a difficult feeling making this video and watching that game. And where do we actually go from here? You can sack all of the board, but we're still gonna be in this situation. You can bring in a new coach, but is that coach gonna be able to galvanise an 18, potentially 19 match losing streak? Wales fall below Japan 14th in the world rankings, and the likelihood of us getting out of that now is going to be pretty low. So heading into the World Cup, we're going to be in the bottom 3rd pool. So we're going to have 2 big hitters. So you'd imagine there'll be no getting through in the group stages of the World Cup. The autumn, we welcome Japan again, but Argentina doesn't look like we're going to be anywhere near them, considering their performance against the Lions. And the All Blacks in South Africa, I mean, no chance. Not even in the same conversation as that team. We're minnows now, and I don't see what can change. Dave Redding is probably sitting in his office thinking, "Why did I come to this place? I should have just stayed in the Premier League or Olympics or whatever he was doing." I just feel really down. I think this is going to be a point where the final straw goes for any patience or hope, and just anything that Welsh fans have left to offer this team. And I've generally not blamed the players as much as possible, because I don't think that helps. But today, watching that group of players, I think there's a few of those who will never and should never play for Wales again. I'm not going to name names or anything, but it was an absolute embarrassment. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen now. I don't know where we're going to go. If we win the next game, I guess it'll give some sort of boost going forward. But it has to be the point has to be made is that wasn't a vintage Japan team. I think they had something like 5 debutants, and they just wanted him more. There was no creativity, no spark. I don't think we really went through any backs moves, and the set piece was just gone to shreds. And yeah, just disappointing. Just before I finish, really thoughts go out to Ben Carter. I hope he's okay. I saw Elliot D talking at halftime, saying he's up and around talking. So it's not sort of like serious where you got to worry about his career. But just tragic considering I mentioned in my previous video how unlucky he's been with injuries. He was in the recent squad and was injured in the Six Nations training without playing a game. And, you know, he's gone through this 3 weeks of grueling fitness and training, and then first tackle, and he's out cold. So yeah, wishing him a speedy recovery, and I'll turn it over to you guys, and I don't know if I'll catch you on the next one, but yeah, enjoy the weekend.